that all sounds good. Let's see what's happening back in the city, in the company of outlaws. Right, you can, Robbie. Girl finds 2 distinct tracks left by the sinisterly reptilian aroma of hydra teeth and the slightly goriness of someone having ripped them out of someone's head. They're probably quite unpleasant smelling, really. You can find 2 tracks. You can randomly tell me you're following one or the other, or if you are, presumably one is where they were and one is where they are now. Which one would you like to try and follow? And maybe we will use dice in some way to work out which one you actually follow.
The one that would lead to where they are now, does it seem distinctly fresher than the other one?
That's a good question. Give me a track roll and see if you can
tell. Track, and make sure I'm looking at my correct form. I got superior.
Oh, okay, absolutely. You can definitely tell. There's a fresher track. What can you tell from this? There are fresh tracks of this aroma going off into the city from the warehouse. That's associated with similar smells to the elves who you recently encountered and in some cases killed, whereas the older track coming in didn't come in with elves coming in that route. But yes, you could definitely follow the more fresher track to wherever they had come from or were going. So.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I think I pause at where I have the decision, so somebody following me would see that right. I was sniffing in 2 areas, but then I would go on and bolt off for the fresher track with the elf smell on it.
Right. Okay, you're not going to need any more tracking rolls to track this across the city. And you can see Modthrith and her associated gang. I will quickly go through who's there, so we'll clear out that. There's various other people who are presumably wolflings. They have that sort of look about them. A couple of young hill folk, and then everybody's favourite hipster corsair, Flynn, and Jahan, the big barbarian who apparently does all the cooking. Peep, the ratling, who is also sort of lurking around, just so you know who's there. And they're all they are good enough at being outlaws that they don't manage to look like a huge gang of thugs walking through the city, but they are managing to stay in sight and follow you through what are emptier streets in the warehouse quarter because there's people have gone home to bed or gone home out partying or are avoiding the other thugs who are also lurking around.
And Girl knows that in this form, it doesn't last all that long. So, she's going to try to work as quickly as she can. She also knows that while she's in this form, her tracking ability is especially acute. So, as she's going to move as quickly as she can, and take the lead and charge into the city to try to get, hopefully find the elves, but if not, just get as far as she can in terms of finding out where these are going. Yeah,
cool. So with the impressive rolls you've already done, that's fine. I think you can certainly find your way along the path as the smell gets stronger and more pungent and clearly much fresher. Give me a stealth roll to see if you accidentally walk straight into people or get enough of an idea as to that you're there before
that. So my stealth just rolled to the great level.
Okay, cool. So the pungent aroma leads you to away from the main warehouse district. You're in an area full of little workshops, forges. There's a big building at the end of this road, which is definitely, you can tell, where they went in. There's no obvious guards outside it at the moment that you can see, but you're prepped up and have a good sight of this. It's a big, looks like a 2-story building with a lot of ironwork at the top and windows, but they're all grimed up, and big double doors coming out onto this street. But no real evidence. Like I say, it's an area of workshops and small forges, things like that. And Modthrift and her gang are joining you in the streets opposite. Is another, as you, I suppose, do the equivalent of a wolf pretending to be a red setter, pointing out where the...
Yes, yeah. Do I have a sense of how much longer I'm going to be able to hold this form?
That's a good question. Give me a fate roll, and we'll see how long this is taking. Fate versus 4, probably. Fate versus inferior, we'll call that. We'll take the number and times by 2. It's kind of miniature.
So I had a good roll, 82, which would on fate put me on the good.
Okay. Ooh. So you've still got 10 minutes of being a wolf.
Has anybody picked up my stuff, or is all my stuff back at the warehouse now?
Let's assume that Modthrift told one of her wolfling outlaws to grab your stuff.
I guess that makes sense. I mean, if these guys are...
They're
half of them are wolflings. They're used to this kind of thing.
Right.
Somebody comes back to human form, is like, "Where's my pants?" Someone's saying, "Okay, got your pants." That's probably.
In fact, probably a couple of them are. However, probably indiscreetly, they might do this because they're outlaw wolflings, stripping off and going and themselves wolfing out. As the rest of the group of outlaws check their weaponry and string bows and things like that.
Yeah, so I think what Girl does at this point, she's pointed out the building.
Mm-hmm.
I think she bares her teeth and lets out a kind of low but quiet growl and looks back and forth from Modthrift to the front door of that building.
Okay. That seems like it's going to communicate what you want it to do, and they are, as I say, all getting ready to attack. I'm assuming that you are in the mood for trying to work out your aggressions a bit more.
Well, yeah, if I don't think in wolf form I'm particularly adept at perhaps manipulating doors or things. I suppose I could go, but certainly kind of communicating that I'm ready for action.
Cool.
If that door opens and there is an elf or somebody else involved in smuggling behind there. It
sounds like the gang probably split in two, some going to the front door, others going around to the back. And Modthrift puts a hand on the door, wrenches it open, and murderous teeth and claws and things are piling into this room. Let's find out what happens about there in a bit. Cut across to the others who are outside the city, in the nice bladed woodlands around Smith City to the north. Shining Star, are you looking forward to this?
In this elfy burb, is there a sacred glen of Dana available?
There is. This is absolutely where Evergreen Blessing has both the temple of Dana, and there are glades and things where they, on appropriate nights, go and do rituals and get their elfy, dancey, musicy goodness on?
Well, first of all, I'm going to tell Christabel that we will do very well to get a little guidance before going to my sister's house. But this is elfy territory, so there are places where you really shouldn't walk. So bear with me while I go.
Are you going to carry me?
No, you're going to have to wait sort of behind this tree without going around the tree into the extra special sacred spot. So.
All right. Well, you do your elf thing.
Okay. Well, speaking of stripping off, that's the first thing. And then I'm going to walk, clad only in being an elf, into the sacred little glen. Now, this isn't the temple. This is kind of one of the little side spots. So I'm kind of hoping that now and during the day we're not... What time of day and night is this again, by the way?
I'm thinking this is about 10 at night.
Oh, 10
Maybe
at night.
on.
All right, then.
Maybe getting on. It was late afternoon when you started running back.
Right. Well, I'm kind of hoping that nobody happens to be dancing there at the moment. But even if they are, I'm going anyway. So I don't know if you want me to roll for that or not.
Because my timeline that I've drawn up suggests that it is not a feast day of
I see.
Or other else.
Ross, you're scaring me.
Well, they are all in the back of the book.
Right.
No. Well, there aren't specific feast days for now, but I had to decide when there was next one would be for some of my plots I was going back. So it's not a feast day. There's no one around.
Okay. All right.
Well,
in that case, I'm walking in there, and I am going to. I have not been able to properly worship Dana since since I was imprisoned. Not only that, but I was a good little devotee of Dana. Before the temple priestess cursed me. So I'm going to go into there, and I am going to ask for guidance to find the silver bow.
Okay, that sounds like a thing that can happen.
I want to know exactly where it is. I know it's in the house somewhere, but I want to know where it is. So this is going to be a pray for a miracle, and I believe that guidance is the proper category.
Yep, definitely a guidance miracle.
Okay.
Do you want to tell me a little more how you're describing this? I feel like you may want to get.
Sure. Well, as I proceed into the dancing circle, I will actually I will have brought my lute, and I will play a pleasing song, and I will say that I'm thinking of doing something like plant-like. Yeah, it's a really good idea. I am going to tend to the plants. I'm good at plants, actually. Quite good at it.
Do you want to make a plant roll?
I do. I want to make a plant roll, and I'm going to take the proper kind of plant, and I'm going to plant it in a particular place where obviously it needs to go. And that's quite a nice... Well, it's not the best roll in the world, but I am very, very good at it. So let's see here. If I take this and I go, oh my goodness. Even with a really crappy roll, I still get a passable. So that's good.
Nice. Okay.
And so I have successfully done that. And I apologize for being out of practice. But yes, I'm going to tend to that spot, and then I am going to simply become one with the plant and let myself become mentally part of all things growing. Do the swamp thing, connect with the green.
I think there's this moment when the trees around shift a little and the shaft of moonlight falls down on where you are. even before you make your devotion roll.
And the whole point here is that clearly no one else cares about getting this silver bow back. Evergreen Blessing hasn't gotten it back. My sisters haven't given it back. And I really want to give it back to Dana. That's what I want to do. It was my fault it was gone, and I'm sorry about that. It was all it was a bad idea.
I'm going to give you +1 column shift for the plants.
Okay, so here goes. Devotion.
And I feel like another +1 is coming from the... Actually, you are doing this for the right motives, and I think Dana.
Working on it.
So, guidance miracle.
Okay, so here comes a devotion roll, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Could have been better. All right, well, I've got a devotion of 10. I get a 54, which is only passable. With 2 column shifts, that puts me at great.
Okay. I'm just thinking how the guidance takes shape. Yes, as the aromas from the plants and things that you've been using to tend the spot in the sacred grove fill the night around you and fill your nostrils, then you start to get a very clear aroma of the scent of your younger sister. And as you absorb this, you start to see in your mind visions of her in a room. It's not a room you recognise, but you get a strong feeling that it's in their house, mansion. But this is a room that belongs to her, but it's at the same time has windows that look out over a city and a sea that clearly aren't in her house. And you see her sort of holding the silver bow reverently, singing it in a slightly odd way. And then letting go, stepping back, going out of the door from this room. You get a very clear image of that door, so you would definitely recognise it again as soon as you were to see it.
So this is a room in the house that I know?
In your house, yes.
Okay, so that's where the bow is. All right. And my sister is behaving oddly toward this bow. All right, then.
Yes.
Keeping that in mind. Cool. All righty, then. In that case, I will inform Christabel upon coming back out with, after giving thanks to Dana, and being kind of happy about this. This means I got a chance. I've been giving some thought to my character's values and goals after having kind of played with them a bit, and I think she's got her sense of purpose pretty well down right now. I'll go back out, and while I'm kind of in a hurry, so it's one of those things where you're putting on your pants while you're trying to move along. And of course that means you drop something and you have to go back, and so I'm doing all that. And at the same time, I'm explaining to Christabel that I know where this is. We need to go to our house. I think, actually, that we may have a pretty good shot at holing up there. If my sisters don't, turn the hellhounds on us, then we're in pretty good shape to hole up there and think about what we want to do. Kind of thinking about whether I want to just kill my way through my problems. I kind of tried that a little bit, hoping to come up with a better solution. Christabel, by the way, this isn't really your fight. If you don't want to, if you want to make your own way, I guess I'll see you around the bend, but I really, really hope that we can stick together on this.
Yeah. Look, can we just get into a bed and get some sleep and talk about this in the morning?
Right then. Off to ye old family home.
Also, my interrogate will refresh the days.
Oh, I see.